Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be walking you through this one today because we're looking at something literally game-changing, how we preserve the irreplaceable stories behind our most valued cultural artifacts. We're going to explore a platform called QRTagAll and how it's basically bridging that gap between the physical objects we treasure and the digital stories that give them all their meaning. Okay, let's dive right into this. Every memento holds a moment, now preserved forever via QR. Just think about that for a second. The true value of, say, a handcrafted garment, a centuries-old painting, or even just a personal souvenir. It isn't just the physical stuff it's made of, right? It's the historical and emotional narrative woven into it. It's that exact moment of creation, the actual human hands that made it, and the wild journey it took just to get to you.
But what happens when that story is lost or faked? Well, that right there brings us to the core problem we're unpacking today. Physical objects, by their very nature, simply outlive the information attached to them. In the worlds of art and fashion especially, there is this constant, looming threat of counterfeits, lost histories, and completely forgotten provenance. And when a story disappears, a massive chunk of that artifact's value and cultural significance vanishes right along with it. It's pretty heartbreaking, really.
So here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. We're going to cover preserving our cultural stories, a living digital identity, fashion, the artisan journey, art, tamper-evident provenance, museums beyond the plaque, and finally, the future of authenticity. All right, Section 1, Preserving Our Cultural Stories, the Threat of Lost History. Let's set the stage. Moving into Section 2, A Living Digital Identity, the Universal Tagging Solution. Now, what's really interesting here is the sharp contrast between the old and the new. We all know traditional QR codes, right? Honestly, they're kind of clunky. They constantly lead to dead links, they make you download some app you'll only use exactly once, or worse, they're super easily faked. QRTagAll completely flips the script. It uses cryptographic IDs to create this dynamic, updatable living identity layer. And crucially, it features owner-controlled privacy. That means the creator or the owner decides exactly what the world gets to see when they scan it. I actually want to pause on this metric for a second, because it is absolutely vital. 0. That is the exact number of apps a person needs to install to access all this rich storytelling. I mean, we've all felt the pain of having to download a 50-megabyte app just to read a restaurant menu, right? No thanks. If you're standing in a quiet gallery or a high-end boutique, that kind of friction needs people just walk away. With 0 apps required, literally anyone with a smartphone camera has instant, frictionless access to the object's story. Okay, but you might be wondering, how do we actually know it's secure? Well, it all comes down to SHA-256 cryptographic signing and timestamping encoding. I know, that sounds super technical, but what it means for the art and culture world is profound. It guarantees that every single QRTagAll identity is permanently unique and completely tamper-evident. You literally cannot just copy a sticker and slap it on a fake. The digital ledger protects the physical asset permanently. Section 3. Fashion, the artisan journey verifying handcrafted authenticity. Let's ground this tech in a beautiful, tangible example from the source material. Demo number 17, a handcrafted chicken curry kurta, designated CHK118. If you aren't familiar, chicken curry is this incredibly delicate regional embroidery style from India, and unfortunately, it is constantly imitated by mass-produced machines. Let's move along and see how this builds a totally unwavering authenticity trail. It goes like this. Step 1, the artisan geotags the origin of the garment right exactly where it's being made. Step 2, throughout the whole crafting process, workshop photos and timestamps are securely added to the garment's QRTagAll identity. And then, Step 3, a customer standing in a boutique, maybe halfway across the world, just scans the tag. Instantly, they aren't just buying a piece of clothing, they are verifying its entire journey from the artisan's hands straight to their own. Trust is literally woven right into the garment. Section 4. Art. Tamper-evident provenance, securing the history of antiques. Check out demo number 7, an artwork titled Monsoon over Sayadri. Now, in the art world, physical paintings derive massive value from their history. Who owned it? Where was it shown? Has it been restored? QRTagAll gives this physical painting a globally verifiable digital ledger to track all of that. So the crucial point here is just how organized and incredibly secure this data becomes. When a collector scans the artwork, they see verified ownership transfers, securely proving the chain of custody. They can view the entire exhibition history, proving it hung in prestigious galleries. And, super importantly, they can review restoration logs, complete with fully documented repairs. The whole shebang is tamper-evident. When that artwork is eventually sold, the digital ownership is securely transferred to the new buyer, permanently locking in and protecting the piece's value and its legacy.
Section 5. Museums, Beyond the Plaque, Deepening the Educational Experience.
Okay, imagine you are wandering through a history museum and you approach Demo 22, the Ajanta panel exhibit. Now normally what do you get? A tiny 3x5-inch card with a date, maybe a material description, and a title. It's kinda underwhelming, right? Well, with QRTagAll acting as an extended museum label, the visitor gets an entirely different, rich experience.
And this brilliantly illustrates the magic of that app-free scan we talked about earlier. By simply pointing their camera, the visitor unlocks this whole world of information. They get the full historical context that could never fit on a tiny wall plaque. They can tap right into immersive audio guides, no waiting in line to rent a clunky headset. The museum can easily and properly display official donor credits, and they can even view high-resolution detail photos to see microscopic brushstrokes that you just can't see from behind the velvet rope. It's a massive educational upgrade, and it's all controlled and updatable by the museum staff in real time.
Section 6. The Future of Authenticity. Trust in the Physical World.
Ultimately, it all comes back to this core concept. A living digital identity is a secure, app-free cryptographic layer that tethers a physical object to its verifiable digital history. By giving these objects a digital voice, one that cannot be forged, cannot be lost, we are building unwavering consumer and institutional trust. We are making absolutely sure that the craft, the art, and the culture we value so deeply today will actually have their true stories told for generations to come. I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought to chew on. We've talked a lot about priceless art and grand museum exhibits today, but this technology scales all the way down to our own lives. So what physical object in your own life, maybe a family heirloom, a memento from a trip, or a special piece of jewelry, deserves to have its story preserved forever? Because right now, the tool actually exists to make sure that story is never, ever lost. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it sparked your curiosity to learn more about how we can protect the physical things that matter most.